What is going on, warriors and farmers of Tamaris? Back again with another Call of Dragons video. In today's episode, you're gonna see the importance of instant impact in Call of Dragons. It will allow you to get so much value against your enemies in the open field. If you're new here, subscribe for more Call of Dragons content, like the video, and let's get started. Alright, warriors of Tamaris, today's video is going to talk about instant impact. First of all, we're going to begin by defining instant impact. What is instant impact? It is the ability of your legions to do a lot of damage within a short amount of time. We have seen that your enemies usually die in less than 10 or 15 seconds, especially in large-scale fights. Many enemies are going to be hitting the same target, and that target is going to melt instantly. If you build your heroes around instant impact skills, you should be able to get a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Usually, you would require around 10 seconds for your main heroes to cast a rage skill, but within that 10 seconds, the enemy might be dead, or the enemy might only have a small amount of troops left, and you don't get a lot of value. So this video is going to show you most of the instant impact heroes in the game, and how you can manipulate them to help you get more value than everybody else in the open field. The archer troop type is the best at instant impact. First of all, let me show you guys a preset of archers. It'll be very good at explaining this principle. So this right here is my 4 March archer setup. We have Magrat Zayda, Syndrion Freyga, Hinara Hosk, and Nico Gwanwyn. Most of these heroes have excellent instant impact skills. They can do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. Within a 10-second time frame, these archer marches are going to get so much value. It is the reason archers get a lot of damage in the open field, because they have excellent normal attacks and they have a lot of instant impact skills. When it comes to mages, they need 10 seconds before they can cast their rage skill. If that enemy is dead, your mages don't get a lot of value. And usually when you're fighting enemies who just launch single targets towards you, you will be able to get more value with your archers than with your mages, because your archers have plenty of excellent instant skills that can work right away, as opposed to the mages who require 1000 rage to cast a rage skill and get a good amount of value. So this is the archer setup. Let us begin the video by having a look at the deadliest instant impact pair in the game, aka Magrat and Zayda. When it comes to getting a tremendous amount of value in a short amount of time, there is no March in Call of Dragons that can beat the duo of Magrat and Zayda. So with Magrat, you're going to get a 500 normal attack damage boost after just 5 seconds. Now imagine, enemy sends infantry. That infantry is targeted by over 50 people, which means that infantry is going to die in less than 10 seconds. Who do you think is going to deal the most damage to that infantry? It's going to be Magrat, because on turn number 6, Magrat is going to hit a normal attack boosted by 500%, and Zayda is going to make that go to greater length. She's going to increase another 80% normal attack damage, which is just great. And then on turn number 10, before your other marches even cast a rage skill, Magrat is going to hit this thing again. With the help of Zayda, the damage output is going to be ridiculous. On top of that, this pairing have this pet with the advanced barbarism. I don't have that over here. That pet skill is also an excellent instant impact skills. It's going to be very, very good at destroying your enemies within a short amount of time. Before we look at the other heroes, let us go to a war report and you see exactly what I mean. So this is a report that I got from the statue fight. You're going to see something similar with all of these war reports. The enemies die in less than 10 seconds. So this is the first one. Now imagine if you are using a mage hero, you won't be able to cast all of your rage skills. So this one died in 12 seconds, which means the war pets for those heroes that require rage did not cast their rage skill. Here again, the third report. Let's see how long this fight lasted. This one only 11 seconds. So Magrat hit her skills twice. And if this was a mage, maybe the primary hero would have hit their first rage skill. And then the deputy, no damage from the rage skill. Report number 4. You can see again here, only 9 seconds. This is just to show you that Magrat is the craziest instant impact hero in the game. You can use this type of fighting style to your advantage. So here again, you can see all of these war reports are just below 10-15 seconds. So if you build your heroes with instant impact, it's going to be fantastic. So that was Magrat and Zeta. Let's take a look at the next instant impact pair, which is Syndrion and Freyga. So when Syndrion enters battle, he is going to trigger rapid fire for 3 seconds with this Forest Shadow skill. So every time you get a new war report, Syndrion is going to trigger this thing. When battle begins, Legion gains rapid fire for 3 seconds, launching an extra attack every time they launch a normal attack. So this is going to be very, very good for kiting your enemies in those quick shot fights where the enemies die. Now, if you had a mage hero, they're only going to do one normal attack, and it's not going to be very, very efficient. And we go on to the next pair for the instant impact. So over here, you can see I decided to split up these two heroes. So first of all, let's get rid of this and try this to make you see how this is going to be super efficient. So we're going to put Nico over here. So these two heroes are going to work very, very well together. Another excellent impact, another excellent instant impact pair in Call of Dragons. Because Kinara has a defense break here, the Jawbreaker. This one triggers so many times. Nico has, let's see, Nico has a defense break over here as well. Kinara also has another defense break in her control tree. So you have 3 ways of triggering defense break very, very fast. And what does that mean? When you trigger a defense break, this snow peak rock is going to hit this skill right here. It is an excellent instant damage factor. If you look at all the reports of Kinara Nico, you're gonna see that you probably got around 4 defense break before you even cast your first rage skill, which means you could trigger this concentration 4 times before you cast your first rage skill, which is just fantastic. On top of that, Nico Awakening, known as Bull's Eye Barrage. When Nico's Legion launches a normal attack on a target Legion that already has defense break, they have a 80% chance to deal additional damage. So let's say you get maybe 5 defense break before you cast your first rage skill. Well, guess what? Nico is probably going to trigger this ability 3 or 4 times before you cast your first rage skill, giving you 200 damage factor, which is tremendous amount of value. Mages cannot do this. This is why the archers are so excellent in those quick shot fights. You don't want to mess with them. They are very good for the open field. As you can see here, I've decided to split up these two. I have Nico with Gwanwyn. That is because of the instant impact fighting style as well. So let's click on this pair and you see. Gwanwyn has this awakening skill known as the Fervent Wind. When Gwanwyn's Legion launches a normal attack, they have a 50% chance to inflict poison. Deals damage every second for 3 seconds. Now I would have put, let's see. I would have put Tara over here, but I think what you get from Gwanwyn is going to be super efficient in those quick short fights where the enemy die as fast as possible. And this lineup is very, very good for those seasons where you don't have long range warfare, because your archers are going to go in, then they'll get targeted. If you have a lot of instant impact skills, you should be able to get a lot of value with your archers in those seasons that do not have long range warfare. Now let's go to the talent tree and see how you can take this fighting style to the next level as well. We're going to pick on Nico, then we go to his talent tree. So this is something I have designed for the instant impact fighting style. So when you enter battle, you're going to get 150 damage factor right away. Now if you have this talent tree for all 4 of your archers, you're going to have 600 damage factor every time you enter battle. You don't even need to get to the point where you cast your rage skill. In addition to that, you also have this skill right here known as the wild wind. When launching a normal attack, your Legion has a 10% chance to deal hero skill damage. You could trigger this maybe even 3 times before you cast your first rage skill, which is like 450 damage factor, and you combine with this one, it is a lot of good value for your archers. They are the kings of instant impact fighting. You don't want to mess with them. The mage fighting style is a little bit different from the archer style. With the mages, they don't have a lot of instant impact skill. However, their rage skill can do AoE damage. But as you guys know, most enemies die within less than 10 or 15 seconds. Sometimes you may not be able to cast your rage skill. The one thing that helps the mages is the ability for your legions to carry over rage from one fight to the next. So usually when you kill a target as fast as possible, you're going to have some rage left. And then when you target the next enemy, you have almost full rage, which will allow you to cast your rage skill. This is what helps mages in those large scale fights. But usually if people are sending single enemies, mages are not going to be doing very well because the archers are going to take over. So what can you do to help your mages get some instant impact and help you, get a nice piece of the pie as well? There is one mage in particular who I believe is the best at instant impact fighting. I would put her as second behind Magrat. So Magrat right here, after 5 seconds, after 5 normal attacks, 500% more damage, which is huge. And then you have Tohar, who is another crazy one. After launching 3 normal attacks, Tohar channels Rage of the Plateau, dealing damage to the target every second for up to 3 seconds. So you don't want to mess with Tohar in instant combat. This guy is going to get so much value because after 3 seconds, he will hit rage skill 3 times, 500 damage factor before he even casts a rage skill. This guy is next level crazy. He is an excellent instant impact hero for the mage fighting. So I hope the game developers in the future can build mage heroes like this with some instant impact skills. That's going to be awesome. Other than Tohar, there is no mage hero in the game who can give you some instant impact damage right away. The only one that I see is Thalia. With Thalia, if you use this talent tree right here, in my opinion, I believe this is a fantastic talent tree for Thalia. It's because of this skill right here known as Punisher. When your legion receives healing, they deal hero skill damage to the target legion. Damage factor 150. This effect can trigger once every 10 seconds. Now, if you have the Sand Lizard on your pet, your Sand Lizard is going to cast its rage skill on turn number 2. So which means every second you're going to be getting 150 damage factor for your Thalia if you're hitting different targets all the time. Another good thing with this fighting style for Thalia is that Punisher is going to trigger this ability on turn number 2, which is fantastic. So it says when dealing hero skill damage, Legion gains skin and shelter. You're going to get attack bonus of 25%, defense bonus of 25%. This is going to help you significantly, especially when you have a Sand Lizard. It's going to work well with this skill to help you become very, very good at kiting your enemies, especially when you hit them with maybe, 5 normal attacks and then you back out. The combination of Punisher and Good Tidings combined with the Sand Lizard is going to be very, very good. Now, speaking about Sand Lizard, you should probably check out my next video because it's going to show you a little something awesome. So the Sand Lizard is the best pet for the instant impact fighting style because this one has the end of season skill, which means every time I enter battle on turn number 2, I'm going to get healing. And then turn number 6, I'm going to get healing. Turn number 11, I'm going to get healing again. It is fantastic. You're going to see the importance of Sand Lizard in the next video. I'm going to show you how that works. To get more instant impact damage with your mages, you might want to consider the following. Let us go to the talent tree for Lilia and see what I mean. So if you want some instant impact with your mages, you're going to need this skill right here known as Thirst for Blood. Remember, your enemies are going to die as fast as possible. So you should try and get as much value as possible. So every time you cast your rage skill, you're going to get 60 additional damage factor. I don't usually pick these caged animals because this thing requires you to stay in battle for a very, very long time. Usually, when you kill one enemy, you go to the next enemy, you get a new report, and you start over from your talent tree. So this thing, Thirst for Blood, is going to be much more efficient for instant impact fighting. Another good skill for instant impact is the Boiling Blood, because it will allow your deputy to get the damage as fast as possible. You're going to get that damage right away. So this is something you might want to consider for your instant impact fighting when it comes to your mages. So Lilia has the skill tree. Bertrand also has the skill tree. If you want to apply that, Mr. Walder here as well also has a skill tree. So this one, what is this? I just clicked on Alistair. So here is Walder. We go to the talent tree. We have the instant impact. This is the talent tree that I like to use for Walder and Velin. I also have this Boiling Blood. It's another instant impact skill. You'll get it right away. So this is the instant impact guide in Call of Dragons. The archers are the best at instant impact. It is being able to do a tremendous amount of damage in a short amount of time based on the nature of open field fights. It's not all the time that your enemies are going to die instantly, but most of the time they will die instantly. And when you have excellent instant impact heroes like this one right here, you're gonna get a lot of value. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new, subscribe for more content. Until then, talk to you guys in the next one. Bye bye for now.